Hi guys, and welcome. I am Enigmius, and today we are in a hole. That's the show. We're in a hole. Let's take a look around. Yep, there it is. Okay, we're done. Thanks for watching. No, just of course I'm kidding. This is actually the cavity left behind by a medium-sized oil deposit that we have extracted with a pump and sent off to sit and wait until we actually have time to use it. But I told you in the last episode I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff with jetpacks. Some of them are productive, some of them are just frivolous and silly. This is one of the frivolous and silly things. I wanted to come down here and just kind of poke around. Now all of the gems and ore and such that are staring at me from the walls, there's going to be a quarry passing over here at some point anyways, so I'm not really too concerned about gathering them up. But we can... Ow! What the... Oh, the skelly shot me. What a jerk. It's just my luck today, I'm telling you. Alright, so we let the skelly live because we had more important things to do. This is our tank farm. You can see we expanded on it, and there's a lot of oil sitting in them. And that's all it is I expanded. I built more tanks, put them into place. You can see up top, that's a liquid teleport pipe, just like we're using with the lava in the Nether, with the gold waterproof pipe, distributing the oil as it comes in amongst the different tanks. So for two medium-sized oil deposits, that's not too bad. And like I say, I do have plans for the oil. It's just not a high priority thing. I have the refinery block made, sitting in a chest in the hive. I just don't have time to set it up amidst all the other things I have on the go, and you'll get a feel for exactly what that is in short order. But first, while we're here, we're just going to take a peek down inside the underbelly of the weapon testing facility. You can see we've started on our equivalent exchange production area. We've got yellow lamps because they look like the sun. I was just feeling silly. These are energy collectors, the ones that look like glowstone, and then the purple ones are antimatter relays. Now these are all Mark 1 except for the one guy that is hiding in here. This is a Mark 3 antimatter relay. I actually took my mining laser down to the bedrock and pulled out almost a full stack of diamonds. So I used it to make the Mark III antimatter relay just to see how much of a difference it would make, and I feel it was actually worth it. I'm kind of happy, and gave me incentive to continue upgrading the blocks as I also add blocks to it. Now the downside is, like I say, many diamonds. To go from nothing at all to a Mark III version of any of these blocks is a total of 45 diamonds, in addition to the glowstone and the Aeternalis fuel that you need. Now Aeternalis fuel is this stuff. For those who aren't familiar, this is basically like set up to do the same thing as an energy condenser, sort of. There's a limit to what I can make with this energy collector. Here, I've basically told it to make Aeternalis fuel directly, so it's taking coal and making it Aeternalis fuel. It gathers the EMC from the blocks around it, the way I've got it set up. And similar to the way the energy condenser gathers like the junk stuff I'm feeding it from the quarries, makes the Aeternalis fuel. If I were to instead replace this energy collector here that we're looking at with an energy condenser, I could make whatever I wanted out of the EMC that this thing is generating. So you can see it just rolled over and made another Aeternalis fuel. If I didn't have this Aeternalis fuel here, it would just upgrade, I guess, the coal through the chain of different fuels until it started making Aeternalis fuel, which is what I did to get this first one. So I've got 4 stacks here, another stack just starting, and I've got about a stack and a half in the hive. These are used to make things like destruction catalysts, nova cataclysms, as well as dark matter and red matter. And the red matter will be used in things like red matter furnace, gem armor, like the really cool, super high-end stuff. So that's why I wanted to get it started, get it ticking away. And I just want to talk a little bit more about equivalent exchange as we make our way back to the hive. I've kind of decided that equivalent exchange is sort of like the time spent mod. Once you've got things set up, it's not so different from solar panels, but you don't really have to think about it. It's just making things and generating things out of nothing based on the amount of time you're nearby. So the chunk is loaded, it's making stuff, which is cool. And I mean, I spoke before about how just using energy condensers, for example, to make whatever you need without having to go get it yourself can undermine the entertainment value of the game, and I still support that, but I'm also feeling now that with 4 quarries in the overworld and soon to be 2 quarries in the Nether, I'll be in a pretty good place where I won't feel like I'm shortchanging myself if I start using the unused bits and bobs I've got lying around to start producing diamonds that will be used in more equivalent exchange blocks, like upgrading blocks, making more blocks, and things of that nature. So I won't be doing it right away. I've still got things that I want to do before I get to that point. But yeah, I reckon I've paid my dues in that regard, and I don't feel that I'll be undermining my game experience at all by that point. So this is the big project. This is the one that I told you about last time, how I wanted to move the rubber tree forest from the bunker to the hive. And to do that, I would need to build something to put the trees on, which obviously I have done. Now, I actually took a lot of footage of that entire process and condensed it down into something that I hope is more entertaining than 5 hours of watching me place blocks. So take a look at this. So that was the build, and now I can just show you briefly how this whole thing works. Obviously these are rubber trees, and these are transposers, and when these get a redstone pulse, they grab anything within a 1 block radius of themselves that's sitting on the ground, and they suck it in and they push it out their output side to, ideally you would have either a pipe or a chest there, And that way you can gather things up off the ground without having to do it manually. Now this side has actually not got any of the plumbing or the wiring set up for it. So we can come over here where I do have it set up and show you how it works. This is a redstone timer set on 2-second interval, and you can see every time the needle spins around, it creates a pulse, travels down the redstone wire, and it does go all the way down as far as the eye can see. And then these are pneumatic pipes connected to the output side of the transposers, and again, all the way down as far as the eye can see. So with those set up that way, I can come up here, and you can see I've got my electric tree tap, and when I knock that little yellow guy off there, very quickly, the sticky resin is gathered up by the transposers, and that means I can just sort of run down like this, knock things off the trees, and just keep going without having to stop and check and make sure I grabbed everything. If it goes into my inventory, great. If not, I know the transposers will take care of it. So that's the whole idea behind that. And then if we come down here, again with the jetpack, stop bouncing around. You can actually see how I miss. Crunch. There's the sticky resin going through the pneumatic pipes. Now it's not fast, it doesn't move quickly, but it moves, and that's all I care about. So to gather the sticky resin from 97 trees should be faster this way than the fully manual method, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I haven't done a full harvest yet of the rubber trees. I know that on this row for sure, this first row that I just ran by, most of the trees are not producing any little nodes anywhere where I can gather from, so I might have to redo this whole row of trees just so that it cooperates. But either way, definitely I don't expect to be having a shortage of sticky resin anytime soon. So the last thing I want to show you today, which is actually fairly considerable, is what I've been doing inside the hive itself. Now you're familiar with this room. This is my crafting bench. This is my energy condenser where all of the junk from the quarry gets fed in. In this case, I'm just converting it to blaze powder because why not? Over here, the bottom row in this chest is all the stuff that's getting set to go into the nether. Now, I am so tempted to get these quarries set up in the nether, but until I'm set up with facilities to sort and refine the materials that I pull out of the quarries, it's really, I don't want to put myself in that position because that's exactly what I did with the hive, and I'm regretting it now because now I have to go back and get it all sorted. Now, to give you an idea, this chest here, now you can see I've got some stuff set up. We'll talk about that momentarily. This chest here is the one that receives the ore and the coal that comes out of the quarries. When it's sorted, it comes in here. You saw that ore guy just appear in there. This was a gift from a pig man. I don't know why I left it there, but you can see this is almost full with coal all by itself. Plus, I've got this chest full of coal, and I've got this chest almost completely full of copper ore. This one, tin ore. Like, I've got ore out the wazoo, and previously I was grabbing it from this chest as this chest would start to fill up and distributing it amongst these chests just so this one didn't overfill. So now what I've got it set up to do is this is a filter, which is very similar to a transposer. You can see I've got another redstone timer creating the redstone pulse that's making this work. And then I've told the filter to check the chest for these ore blocks. So every time there's a redstone pulse, it checks to see if there's any of these ore blocks in the chest. And if there is, it pulls one of them out and sends it through this tube upstairs. Now I can adjust this. So for example, I could put a full stack of copper ore in here. And what that will do is make it so that the filter won't pull copper ore out of the chest unless there's a full stack to pull. And in that case, it pulls the whole stack all at once. So much more efficient than like redstone engines or what have you. But for now, it's just set up to test what I've got going. So you saw the ore blocks going upstairs to this calamity, which is a work in progress. But you can see another ore block going up. And it goes, that pipe runs basically all the way across the ceiling. And if we come over to this side, you can see we've got more filters set up. This one, for example, is set up for copper ore. So any copper ore blocks that pass over this filter will get sucked down into the filter. No, we won't be able to see that. But the copper ore will get sucked down into the filter and then out its output side into this macerator. And then it will be the dust will be grabbed out by the redstone engines and sent upstairs to a chest. And that basically, that whole process repeats all the way down. I've got a filter and a macerator for tin ore. We've got one over here for iron ore, silver, and then around the corner is gold. These are my furnace, my compressor, and my extractor, just kind of hanging out until I figure out where I want to put them. So you can see it's crowded, it's claustrophobic, but at least it's doing more than just filtering things into chests and leaving them there, which is sort of the next step. So I guess technically they are just filtering them into chests and leaving them there, but at least they're in dust form now. The ideal situation for me right now, and where I've sort of realized that I've got a bit of a problem, is I would like to continue to refine these, and by refine I don't mean just convert the dust into straight ingots. Anyone could do that, it's not a big deal, but I would like to do, for example, I've got copper dust and tin dust here. I would like to set up a system that converts some of the copper dust to copper ingots and some of the tin dust to tin ingots, but also takes some of the dust from each of these chests to an automatic crafting table, converts it to bronze dust, and then converts that into bronze ingots. And the same thing with the iron dust. I would like to convert some of it to iron ingots and some of it to refined iron ingots, and then continue the refining process to, for example, combine refined iron with tin with bronze ingots to make mixed metal alloy, and then automatically feed that through a compressor to make the advanced alloy that I use to make reinforced stone and reinforced glass. I mean, that's the kind of refinement, the automated refinement that I want. Unfortunately, you saw how much space it took up just to macerate all of those ores. By the time you fit in multiple furnaces, automatic crafting tables, passing to more furnaces and more automatic crafting tables, this space gets eaten up very, very quickly. So my next major project is going to be to figure that out. Now, I've got a number of options. The first one that I'm going to attempt is to start at the bottom of the hive and work my way up, figuring out where I can consolidate things so that I free up more room and I'm using the space that I've got more efficiently. If that doesn't look like it's going to be enough, I will either knock out the glass on this floor here and expand the floor out this way so that I have more room to work, or as a last ditch sort of scenario that I really don't want to do, start sending all the dust over by teleport pipes to the weapon testing facility and move my production facilities over there. Now, the reason why I don't want to do that is because I just built this whole area with the rubber trees so I wouldn't have to go so far when I want to harvest resin, and to move everything back over there seems kind of counterproductive. So that's going to be maybe the next episode, depending on how much time I have. I've still got a bunch of Guild Wars 2 stuff that I need to get back to, and I've got other projects within the Minecraft world that I'm kind of messing around with, but I would like to get this sorted. That's one of my major sort of monkeys on my back right now, is getting the hive set up and working the way I'd originally intended it to. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Lots, I know I threw a lot at you, and hopefully in future episodes I'll be able to keep things a little bit more compressed. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what we're doing in the Tech It world. Let me know what you think about, you thought about the collection of footage for the building of the botanical green area outside, and just let me know what you think of this series in general. Leave your feedback in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and by all means, if you are enjoying the episode, let other people know how awesome it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.